Hello children, how are you all? Welcome back to the e-classes of standard 9. In the previous classes, we have seen the prose or the poem, and today we will see the supplementary. The first chapter is The Lost Child, written by Mulkraj Anand. So, what is this story about? It's a story of a child who goes for the festival in spring with his parents, and the child experiences so many things on the way. At last, what happens? We will study. A child goes to the fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? So, this is the context of the story. The child goes to the fair with his parents, and he demands so many things. Whatever he sees in the fair, he demands it. But then his parents refuse to buy for him. But then at particular point, when someone offers whatever he demanded earlier, and he refused to take that one. So, what is the reason? So, some experience he might undergone. So, what is that? Now, let us study in detail. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So, that is the situation in the context, the context of the story. So, you can see in your textbook, this is the context. The context of the festival where people are wandering here and there, somehow with balloons, different toys are there, and you can see one circle. And you can see a boy with the parents and holding their hands and walking along. Come, child, come, called his parents, as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. So, as he was going along with his parents, he sees the shops, toy shops, and sweet stalls on the festivals on the roadside, and he stays back. So, once he was holding his parents, but when he sees other things, toys and sweets, he leaves the hands and moves away from the parents. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. Though he wanted to be obedient to the parents because they are calling him, come child, come child. But then his eyes are roaming here and there on the toys, on the sweet stall, and so on. So he stops there and watches all these things because he wants them. I want that toy, he pleaded. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and said, giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you?" It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold, as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So the parents stopping him not to ask, not to demand for other things, and they are taking along, saying, "Come on, child, don't need all these things. It's not good." Saying things, the parent taking the child along. It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold, as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So, as they're going by, they see flowering mustard field. You might have seen mustard seed field with beautiful yellow flowers, very nice to look. So, his mother is pointing out to him to look into those fields, not to the toys or the sweet stall. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. So on the field, what do you see? Dragonfly, they fly, and butterfly, they sit on the flowers and they take honey from nectars, and they are going on. So his mother is pointing out to him to look into those things. The child followed them in the air with his gaze till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. But it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his hands. Then his mother gave a cautionary call, "Come, child, come on to the footpath." So when his mother pointed to him on the dragonfly and butterfly, so the boy is trying to catch one of them. But it takes some time to catch it. And he was trying to catch. Again, his mother called him, "Come on, child, don't go out of the road, come on to the footpath, let's go on." Like that, his mother said. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. So he came along, but after some time, when he goes ahead, he sees some other insects looking beautiful, and they also enjoy the sunshine, and he also started to enjoy along with them, and he is lagging behind them. Again his mother says, "Come, child, come." His parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them. So at that point they sat for a while, and they also called him to come towards them. So he ran and came towards them. Another went towards them. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, dove." The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. So as he went, he saw a flowering tree, and the petals from the flowers fell from the tree, and he was trying to catch it, and it's like a plaything. But suddenly the cooing of doves he heard, and for security he called out his parents, and he ran towards them. And come again, his parents said, "Come, child, come." They called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard field. So they are going to the fair. As they go to the fair, the side roadside, they see all these things. As they near the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So now they are entering to the village where the fair is held, and he could see so many things are there, whirlpool, and so many things are there, and he was confused to which one to see and so on. A sweet meat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves of silver and gold. The child started open-eyed, and his mouth watered for the barfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that barfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. Already he had heard his parents say that no need all these things. Come on, come on. So he had a pre-thought. So when he demanded for burfi, which was his favorite item, and he himself told to him that the parents will deny, and without waiting for an answer, he just moved on. There he saw a flower seller hawked a garland of glamour, rather a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. So he saw one garland seller. The child seemed irresistibly drawn, so he also wanted to get that garland. He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. There also, he himself understood that parents will deny to buy them. So, he moved again. So, without waiting for an answer, he just moved on. Then, what did he see there? A man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green, and purple balloons flying from it. So, whenever we see colorful balloons, of course, we just crave for it. Same way, the child also want to have them. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors and was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So we walked on further. So the boy, rather the child, knew that the parents would say that he is too old to play with the balloons. He is not a small kid. So saying, he moved ahead. So what do you see there? A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. Here also he knew that parents will not encourage to listen to this type of music. So he moved further. What did he see there? There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently and then he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout, please, father and mother. Here also, he wanted to ride on the run about big round swing. So whenever you also see them, you also have that likeness to ride on that. Much more, this boy is in a fair and he wanted to ride on that. And he also know that the parents will not allow him to sit on the roundabout swing, and he just moved on. There was no reply. He turned and looked at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. Now he is searching for his parents. So when he called him, father, mother, there was no reply because they are not around. So just now he is looking for his parents. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father. Tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear, panic stricken. He ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither, in all the directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he walked, he wailed, his yellow turban came untied, and his clothes became muddy. So, whatever he longed for, the things, now it is not in his mind. Now he is searching only for his parents, father and mother. Just going here and there, looking for his mother and father, shouting, and his dress became dirty, and the turban in his head removed. So he was not worrying about that. What was in his mind was to search for his parents. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. A little distance on the green grass he could see, through his filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. So from there he saw little far, and many people are standing there and talk to each other. And he was looking for his mother and father, whether they are standing there or not. But then no sign of his father and mother seen. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father. Near the entrance to the temple, however, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust away between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements, he might have been trampled underfoot. Had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, "Father, mother." The man in the surging crowd heard his cry and, stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. So next he went to temple where people go for worshipping. He thought his parents might have gone there. So went in a rushing and went in between the people, and the crowd was very thick. I could not go through, but somehow he managed to go through, shouting for his parents, mother, father, and so on. Even the big sound, one person heard of the boy's cry, and he tried to lift him above his shoulder, and just to let him to see his father and mother are there in the crowd. How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he steered clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, I want my mother, I want my father. So the person inquiring with him, asking him how he came to this place and whether he came alone or where are his parents and so on. But then he was shouting, I want my mother, I want my mother, I want my father, like that he was shouting. And the person does not know what to do. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. So, before what all the child was longing to enjoy, the person taking the child and allowing to enjoy, but then the child's mouth says, I want my mother, I want my father. The man again headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. Listen to that new nice music, child, he pleaded. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double pitched strain, I want my mother, I want my father. Then the man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow colored balloon? He persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. So, earlier the child was demanding for the colorful balloons. Now he is being offered for the colorful balloons, but he is denying. Now in his mind is only his father and mother. The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put around your neck? The child turned his nose away from the basket, reiterated his sob, I want my mother, I want my father. Here also same cry. He is crying for his mother and father. So in his mind nothing else, only his parents. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. What sweets would you like, child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. So here also, the person trying to console him by offering what all the child demanded earlier. But then the child denied everything. What he wanted was his father and mother. So, hello my dear children. In the life also, when parents are with us, we don't know the value of them. But then when we are away from our parents, we long for them, we need them, and we need their support. Here also we can see so many examples. Sometimes during these online classes, many are demanding for a new smartphone. And parents are hardly trying to feed the children. Somehow they are managed to have one small phone. But then, children not understanding the struggle faced by the parents, they demand for more or more. There are so many children who are not having this much. Some are parentless, and we have to think about them also. We have good parents, and they fulfill all our requirements. So, from the story, the authors try to say we have when people are with us, especially our parents and siblings, we need to know the value of them. We should respect them, and we should give proper place, due respect, due place. Only then uh, we can be happy in our life, and other worldly things are there, of course, but then the worldly things should not take the place of the our near and dear ones. Okay, this is what the child experiences. Once he was demanding for so many worldly things, but at a particular point, when the parents are not seen and the parents are away, so from his mind, every worldly thing is lost. Only the parents are in his mind. So we should not go for the last moment when the parents are with us. Let us give respect to them and know the value of them, and do service to them. Thank you.